Hello, hello, and hello. Welcome to the another edition to Achieve Experts Highlight Show, where we highlight leaders and members of the Achieve community, where you get to meet wonderful, amazing business owners, entrepreneurs, and just people that are changing the world. As I always say, we're all a lighthouse to the world in our own little way, right? We have our own special gifts in us. So I always say that we need to know who we are, and I'm the visibility person to do that. So with that said, we have another wonderful, amazing member. He is like a celebrity. Yes, I'm going to say that he's probably like, whoa, yes, you are a celebrity, Alex. Take the title. He's the chief tech and the founder officer of Cover Tech IT. This is going to be a very interesting conversation because this is something that's been happening more and more, as we all know, when we deal with technology. You know, everybody has a laptop, iPad, whatever, phone, right? Anything with technology. Well, a lot of times, a lot of people have been getting taken advantage of, and you're not welcoming that at all. It's just like, okay, here we go, and it's global. So, and it can go even beyond that. So, we have the Mr. Expert here, Mr. Alex Patterson, to talk about a little bit about how he really got into really honing in his business and helping other businesses when it comes to cybersecurity. So, Alex, first of all, welcome to Achieve Expert Highlight Show. I'm so happy that you're here.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, yes.
So,
Yes. So I know we were talking before we started, and we were talking about titles of people that give their own titles. I'm just gonna do it to open it up real quickly. So that's why I said, hey, if people can call themselves empresses and all this kind of like royalty and stuff, then I can call you a celebrity.
that's not usually the title I go by, but I'll let you pass on this one.
Good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Have mercy on me. So with that, Alex, I always like to, when I'm interviewing, just talking to people in general, not just to interview, but just really get to know people. I like their backstories. I love storytelling. I think we all love that when we were growing up and we were younger, once upon a time, whatever, right? So I get to learn people's like experiences and how they really got into it. Because a lot of times I've been noticing when people get in businesses, it's kind of by accident sometimes, or it's because, I just fell into it, or something really traumatic happened. Yeah, I had to do this. So there's a lot of different ways how people get into what they do. So give us a little bit backstory on how you really got into the cyber world.
Yeah, so kind of my story is I've always been that kid that probably drove my parents a little bit nuts because I'll be the type of kid to tear apart the vacuum cleaner. When I was little, I think it was my first modification to my Game Boy. You remember the old ones you have to scrape your neck in the back of the car to be able to get just the right angle to be able to see it. I was the kid that modified mine so I could actually see it better, like the later advanced models had. So just kind of one of those natural things for me where I've always just been passionate about technology and just kind of one thing led to another. Fast forward a few years and right out of high school, I tried a few different things, but eventually wound up in tech and just kind of been here ever since. I work for some major companies that basically do the same thing we do, where we offer cybersecurity and IT assistance to small to medium-sized businesses. I'm on layoff number 4. Haven't even gotten out of my 30s yet, and kind of between that and knowing I could do it better, this kind of one thing led to another, and here I am.
I love it. See, that's why I like these stories, and I like how you say, you know what? I'm tired of this. Yes, I'm going to just take myself and say, I'm going to do this because I know what I can do. I know what I've been doing ever since I was young. And then you just go out there and you do your thing, right?
Yep, exactly. And it's one of those things where it's always been a passion of mine. And I forget who said it, but there's a famous quote that says, if you do what you're passionate about, you will always be successful.
Yes.
And basically, what the idea is that if you actually care and you're actually passionate about whatever you're working on, your quality of work and what you're going to be able to do in that space is always going to be much better than someone that's there to collect a paycheck.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm glad you said that. I like that because I even where I work, because I have my day job and I have my business too, so I'm kind of dual ownership here of everything. And I always hear people like, "Oh, I hate my job. I hate this." Da, 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 da. And I was like, you know what? You can make a decision. Either you can stay here and gripe. I mean, I'm straightforward with people, or you can find your passion and make it happen and do what you need to do. So, like you said, once you do that, I don't care what happens in the world. If you're passionate about it, you really love it, it's not it will never you'll never get to that point of saying, you know what, this sucks. Because you're doing your passion, you're doing what you love, like cyber and dealing with technology. I was just thinking when I knew I was going to interview you, I know you talk about the cyber world. I've been in insurance for like, okay, I'm going to tell my age, over 29 years. Yeah, I'm up there a little bit.
I judge.
I'm up there just a little bit. But I was thinking about, because because as risk management, we have to always look at our businesses that we have clients for. And the biggest thing, Alex, you are going to like blow a gasket when you hear this because you're in the cyber world. We always have to pull teeth when it comes to selling cyber coverage, cyber liability coverage.
Yep.
And I'm like, do you people understand? I mean, I'm not going to go there. Let me be nice. I'm going to be nice today. But yeah, that's it. So I want you, Alex, see, this is where I love you as an expert to really explain in your expertise of this, why they need, that protection.
Yeah, it's one of those things where a lot of people have a misconception. For some reason, people seem to think that the bad actors only go after large companies, which is not true. They might be going after a large company, but those usually take 6 months to a year to actually pan out. And so most of them will actually target like one big mark, and then they'll also go after small companies because they have a faster turnaround time, but also because they tend to have less cybersecurity. So that's why 47% of hackers actually specifically target small businesses. And another scary statistic is 60% of small businesses that have a major cybersecurity incident close within 6 months. Because one of the things people don't think about is that even if you have cybersecurity insurance, as an insurance person, you probably know, like you have requirements in those policies. So if you don't have those requirements, then you're not going to get your payout for that. And it's same thing. Like it's if you're not insured and you're not compliant with the policy, you're not going to receive the payout. But also, it's going to be a huge reputation loss to your business. For example, in the state of Colorado, there's the Colorado Data Protection Act, which actually requires that you disclose if you get compromised and what information got compromised.
Wow.
So it's one of those things where it's just not worth the risk. Like if it happens, it's a hit to your reputation. It's a hit to your finances. You might be locked out of your banking accounts and your critical systems. So you're now paying payroll for everyone that can't work. So it's just one of those things where, yeah, it's not cheap, but it's much more expensive if it happens than making sure to be preventative. Because it's so, as the medical saying goes, 1 ounce of prevention is worth 10 pounds of cure.
Wow.
So
yeah, it's really important. And like you said, Alex, that because I'm the insurance, I put my insurance hat on a lot of times, especially when I'm talking to people in business or just one-on-one, because that's just where my head is at when I've been in insurance for so long, is like, you need to protect yourself. Just like you said, with your businesses, your reputation. There's a lot of things, and a lot of times they just say, well, I got to pay $2,000 a year for cyber coverage. I mean, that's the only thing that they're looking at, right? And I'm like, okay, I'd rather pay that than to be, my rep is all messed up. They get all in my bank, information. I close down my business. okay, maybe that 3,000 doesn't sound so bad anymore paying for coverage.
Yep. Yeah, and for smaller businesses, it's oftentimes not even that much. It really is one of those things where, and another part that people don't often think about is that if your IT is actually managed correctly and everything is set up properly, you're also going to notice, for example, that the computers are a little bit faster. And another thing that people often forget is, let's just say one of your employees walk in and they have a computer issue, and you don't have an IT person on staff. You're not actually losing one person, you're losing two. And because neither of them are trained in IT, you're probably losing two of your employees for a couple of hours.
Wow.
So it's really one of those things where it all kind of fits together. And if you don't have someone that actually understands how it kind of all fits together and make sure that your technology works with you rather than against you, it's going to cause more frustration on your end, and it's also going to tend to just make things exponentially harder to run your business the way it should, because technology should aid you in making your business grow and taking things off your plate, not adding things to it.
Yes, so true, so true. So I liked how you brought out some of the things to think about for now going to a small business again, because a lot of times, like we always think of those big corporations. Oh, they got hit by cyber or this and that. You see the news. But I'm so glad, Alex, that you said small businesses get hit hard as well, and you have to be aware of that. So, what are other that you would give small businesses regarding around their cyberspace?
Yep. So the general what I recommend is, like, when you first start out as a solopreneur or you're just starting out as a very small company, the first thing you need to get is you need to get a good antivirus. That does not mean Norton or McAfee. Those things are actually worse than the free Windows Defender. So if you see those on your computer, just throw them in the trash bin, delete them. You're better off with the free version. But even then, it's strongly recommended that you get something a little better than Windows Defender, because it's gotten a lot better than it is. But the easiest way to think of Windows Defender in the current security space is it's kind of like the really old security guard at the museum. He knows how to lock all the doors and windows. He knows where everything's located. But if anyone ever actually gets in, because the bad actors, because the default, the backward actors know exactly how to limit what Windows Defender is going to be able to do. So it really needs something to back it up and make sure that everything is that there's not something else going on, and if something does happen, to actually respond to the incident.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad that you brought the fact about Norton and those other ends, because people think that, okay, I just buy that app, put it on my computer, I'm good. I have no problem. So I'm so glad that you kind of stretched that and to say, no, you need to get this. You're not all protected.
Yeah, and as your business grows, then we can kind of keep going on or extending like how much security is. Because, for example, an antivirus is only going to protect you against anything that's downloaded onto your computer, but it's not going to protect you, say, against someone sending you a Nigerian prince email saying, "I need $10,000 reclaimed to throne." I know, old example, but if I say that one, most people know which one I'm talking about. So. So, like, as your business grows, I'd probably say the next step is to get a good firewall or VPN solution, so you're protected on the networking side. And then after that, make sure you have a good email solution that's also going to be able to do some what's called anti-phishing. So that's phishing with a PH.
Yeah, phishing.
And that's kind of where a great place to get started. I would say those are kind of the top three that you should be looking at.
I like that. And I'm glad you brought out the phishing thing, because everything that you mentioned, because I'm writing, I'm learning from you. I'm writing notes. I tell everybody watching this, write those notes. He's telling some good information for you. But I know at my job, and I think at probably everybody's job right now, we have mandatory training online about cyber. Yes. And we have to take it every quarter. Yeah.
Yep.
Through everything what you just said, from making sure understanding certain hacks, understanding what emails you get and what they look like, so you can understand that no, that is not a real email, that is somebody. And it's really interesting because sometimes they can be so real, Al. I mean, those emails, they just like. But then when we have these trainings, which I'm so happy about, and what you do as an expert, it really gives us a think like, well, wait a minute, let me look at this email one more time. That is misspelled wrong, or this email is what, Gmail, and it's coming from a company? No, something wrong with that. Yeah.
Yep, one of the first things I always teach people is if you see at Yahoo or at Gmail or something like that, always verify before you do anything. So, for example, if you see something from an email from one of your saying that's from one of your clients that you notice it's at Gmail and they don't normally send from that, give that person a call. Just call them up real quick and say, hey, did you send me this, that, and the other? And just make sure that the information is correct. As you It's always better to make sure you verify rather than trust when it comes to
Yeah.
cybersecurity.
Yeah, and that's good. Like you said, just pick up the phone and call. I mean, I know a lot of us picking up the phone is old fashioned now, but it does
Well,
work.
I mean, if in doubt nowadays, just text them real quick and
You know, Alex, I'm saying I can't even get nobody, and I'm much older. I know I'm much older than you, but at least I'm to that certain level where I know that trying to call somebody right now is like really. I
you
mean,
know.
and it's really kind of sad, with IT and stuff that I could be
Mhm.
calling a person and then they text me and I'd be like, "You're texting me. I know you're on your phone. Can't you just pick it up?"
Yeah. Well, I'm
Nope.
not proud of it, but I'll admit sometimes when I'm on calls, especially if I'm kind of the third wheel at that point in the conversation,
Mm.
I might start sending email and then text at that point.
Hey, I do it too. I've learned. I learned.
You know?
I don't get upset anymore. Way at the beginning, I was like, okay, you're on
Mhm.
your phone. The phone's ringing. It's me. Pick it up. But they like, nope. I want to text you.
You know?
So I was going to ask you, Alex. Far as going back to the cybersecurity on the different levels, like we talked about small businesses and how they kind of really need to be prepared for this. What kind
Mhm.
of really big threats? I know there's a lot out there. I mean, for our cyber, but what are kind of like the main ones that you see a lot of?
So right now, I would say a lot of it has to do with AI.
Mhm.
Is one of the big ones nowadays. So one thing, for example, we're seeing increasingly common is every time you go into a business, and they have internet access, they have something that's called an IP address. The easiest way to think of that is it's kind of like your street address on the internet. So one of the things we're seeing is that the bad guys actually have AI that's basically going after each and every single address possible, and then they're just seeing if anything's open. And then let's just say, for example, they see that, and because it wasn't figured correctly, they see, oh, it's a Sophos or it's a Sonic wall or whatever firewall it might be. They're actually then having AI programs that will automatically try all known vulnerabilities for that system. So if you haven't been updating and you haven't been securing it, then they might be able to get in that way. Um, I would say another pretty common one we often see is um, ransomware and data exfiltration. And basically, what the idea of ransomware is that they lock up your system and your files, so you can't get into the computer until you pay them a certain amount in Bitcoin, so that they can maybe not give you a code to get back in. Because at that point, if you're at that situation, it's really rolling the dice if they're even going to give you the
The
code to get back.
access. That's like holding your own information hostage from yourself.
Yep.
Oh my God. Oh no. It's like, oh my God. I'm just thinking about all the videos, all the stuff that I do. And if all of a sudden I couldn't get to any of them, and you're talking about my clients too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're talking about heart attack, Barbara.
Yep. And then I'll give you another scary one. Because if you don't have the right tools in place, it's also becoming increasingly common for bad actors to just sit on your network. So what they're doing is they're sitting on your devices, they're trying to compromise other devices, and they're just pulling your data out of your environment to their stuff. And then at that point, they can do a few different things. So they can, let's just say you're a medical provider, they can say they will report you for HIPAA violations and this, that, and the other for a payout, because those fines can be hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Another thing they can do is they can go sell it to your competitors. They can go sell it to other bad actors for another attack. Now that they have all the keys to the castle and everything, that's another thing they'll often do. And speaking of kind of third-party hackers, you can actually nowadays you can pay hackers a commission. So like you basically just say like, hey, I want to hack so and so, and then hackers will actually you'll be able to get third-party hackers go after it if you go into the dark web. So a lot of these people anymore, they don't even need to be that skilled at hacking. They just pay a part of what they get to whoever, and that's how they kind of get started.
Oh, I mean, just hearing that, I cringe. I mean, they're paying people to hack people's information. That that's not good. Yeah, and see, that's why I'm loving you being the expert on this to give us those insights. That's why I was asking, what are some of those like main threats and stuff? Because, like I said, people just think about getting on their computer, doing this, their work or whatever, and saying, "Oh,
Yep.
okay." But you don't think about all that can happen to all your assets online. It's Oh, so as I want to let the audience know, what type of clients do you look for your business?
I mean, honestly, I can support any small to medium-sized business. I've supported everything from retail to warehouses, to manufacturers, to hotels, to professional services, you name it. I've probably done it at least once. I would say since we started our company, some of the niches we found that have been very successful in so far is going to be medical, financial, professional services, and then anyone with like a large network. So event centers, hotels, or stuff like that. Because it's kind of one of those weird things in IT is that there's less and less people that know how to do computer networking. It's kind of one of those things that for some reason, most of the people that are really good at it are of retirement age. So they're kind of on the way out, where most of the young guys want to be either security engineers or cloud engineers. So there's just not very many people that are highly proficient at dealing with those larger networks nowadays. So we've been kind of found a good niche there where we can help make sure that that's secure. And I don't know, I've always kind of found it funny how there's a lot of companies out there that say, "Oh yeah, we're doing cybersecurity," but yet they're not doing the network, which is the first line of defense in the stack. Because a good firewall, its entire job is to try and start filtering out things before it even hits your device.
Yes.
So a good firewall should be able to stop 95% of stuff before it even gets to your device. And so if they don't know how networking, how are they configuring that first piece of your cybersecurity defense?
I know that's one of the things as a cyber person that you should kind of know. I told somebody, I said, that's why they call it firewall.
Yeah, exactly.
I got you.
Yeah, I'm thinking it might have just been the college days, and then I might have heard fireball instead. But
well, it could be a fireball if you let it grip. I mean, it's it's gonna have you're gonna have a game, all right. You don't have that type of game in your business. But I know just some cyber humor. With that, Alex, I want to make sure that you give any lasting thoughts to the audience. So I'm gonna take myself down just for a little bit. I'll be back, and then we can let everybody know how to reach you because they need to reach you and get in contact. So I'll be right back.
Sounds good. Let's see what to talk about. Well, I guess previously I forgot one other important one is the phishing. So just always be cautious. It's with cybersecurity, it's always about awareness more than anything else, making sure you watch out. And a good IT team, if you are, whether you're looking for us or someone else, is just make sure that they actually, if you don't hear the term cybersecurity hardening, that is something to be wary of, because the idea with that is they're trying to prevent the attack before it happens. By making sure that, for example, with Windows, one of the really nice things about it is you can throw in a CD from 1998 and chances are it's still going to work. The downside of that is that it's still going to work and it hasn't really been patched. So there could be a lot of security vulnerabilities there. And for example, Windows comes default with Xbox nowadays and a bunch of other things installed. So basically, if they're not going through and just disabling the things you're not using after kind of getting to learn your environment and they're not doing security hardening, I would always question their ability to do cybersecurity. But honestly, just kind of going back to the beginning of the conversation, is honestly, I just want to help. I want to help as many people as I can, make sure everything's secured and working as expected.
I love it. I love so Alex, like I tell people, that's why we interview these experts. And Alex is a one expert, especially when it comes to cybersecurity, your IT person. He's the one to call on. And you want to focus on your business. You want to focus on what you're trying to do, not having to worry about somebody hacking your information. That's why Alex comes in. That's where he comes in at. So with that, Alex, how can they contact you, sir?
Yep. So they can get hold of us a couple different ways. They can either email us at sales@covertechit.us, or they can also just email me directly at English today, alex@covertechit.us, or they can also give us a call at 720. Oh man, I started strong.
We'll make sure these are in the show notes so everybody can see all the contact, because I want to make sure they have all your information. So we'll make sure that happens.
Sounds good. And the phone number is 720-508-3205. My bad on that.
Yeah. Can you say that one more time, Alex? I want to make sure they got it.
Yeah, it's 720-508-3205.
Okay. So there's no excuse for people to be like, well, I can't find an IT person. I can't find a cyber. I don't know what to do. Well, you have one in this community. That's why this community is so wonderful, because we have all different type of businesses, all different kind of people that have a passion for it. So if you don't have a passion for IT, Alice does. So why even try to sit there and try to do something that you really probably don't even like to do, but you need to be safe with your business. So Alex, again, sir, and you're always welcome to come back, but thank you so much for being our expert today and me able to interview you so people get to know our members within the community and outside the community.
Sounds great. And thanks again for having me. And if anyone ever has any questions or ever wants to get a second opinion, don't hesitate to reach out.
I got to point this way. Yeah. Yes.
Oh, you can just turn it into kind of a new dance move, right?
And don't say fireball, it's firewall. So everybody, will see you at the next Achieve Expert Highlight Show. Again, thank you, Alex, for being so awesome and being a lighthouse to the world when it comes to cyber. Everybody take care.
Introducing the Diamond Factor Network, where we turn your business into a beacon of success. Imagine having your TV streaming show reaching audiences far and wide. It's possible with the Diamond Factor Network. Unlock the power of your brand with our state-of-the-art TV streaming platform. Your show, your way. Feature highlights, customized shows, global reach, and professional support. Coaching by Barbara J. Beckley, Purpose Visibility, and social media strategist. Ready to elevate your brand? Join the Diamond Factor Network today and let your brilliance light up the world. Shine bright, because your success is our priority.